1 second here. Oh, come on, you stupid mouse. I hate when I do that. Spreaker's going to be hearing us right now, but hold on. There we go. Now we're going to go quiet. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show, including all of our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, like rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire and much more. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Near the end of each month, I like to kick back, relax, bring out my Zen, my Chi, my tarot cards, you name it. I also bring in some of my good friends to hang out and chat with all of you about the strange month that was in the paranormal and supernatural with the SOR Roundtable. The guests have no clue what we are going to be talking about tonight, so they'll have to be quick on their feet to answer some of the questions I will throw at them. Tonight we are joined by UFO historian William Pullin, who wears a very nice pair of khaki slacks. GUFON Radio's Rich Giordano. Later on, we're going to be joined by Lorien Fenton from the Fenton Perspective. We have from Spaced Out Radio, Cryptid Tales host Amber Bekkerud. She is lovely, she is talented, and what a killer smile she has for the radio. And of course, the man behind the bandana, Moon Joey, who writes for the SOR News Wire on our website. And we're going to have some fun tonight. Panel, welcome to the show. We're going to kick things off right off the bat here, because April was a busy month for all of us, because it was our first full month that really, really made us insane from staying at home. And I want to get the COVID stuff out of the way right off the bat, because the best thing that happened in my world through COVID-19 was the fact that Kenneth Copeland blew it all away. Little Richie G, I know you played this video, COVID-19. You know what I'm talking about.
I love that guy. Yeah.
You know, what do you think about that? What do you think about him going and blowing it all away?
The COVID wind. And it's ridiculous. He's got his henchmen next to him repeating everything he says. Like, you got the bully, and they repeat everything the bully says. COVID-19 ain't real. COVID-19 ain't real, and they just repeat everything he says. I understand the guy wants to be relevant and stay on everybody's mind. He wants that money to keep coming in. So he's over-exaggerating, but he's known to do that. So what do you expect from that guy?
You know what? What I expect is some honesty. All right. The man is worth $760 million as a television preacher. And he has the nerve to go to his congregation for new planes, for bigger buildings. I mean, remember, this is the same guy who said that he can't travel on public planes because there's too many demons intermingling with the people. I mean, this is how ridiculous this man is. Amber, I want to bring you in here. When you hear the ridiculousness, because, whether you believe there are conspiracies or not around COVID-19, the fact is we do know there is a disease. And for this man to make fun of this, that he's blowing it away, I think it's shameful. This has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with anybody's religious choice or practices. But I thought it was embarrassing, Amber. What about you?
Honestly, from the little bit I've seen of it, because I've taken like a hardcore social media break through all of this anyway. Just seeing the few things that I have about that in particular, or other, talk show preachers, television preachers that are just dismissing everything away. I'm sitting here shaking my head being like, this is very real. This isn't just something that's like something to be, it's not to be ignored, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very real thing. And to just kind of push it to the wayside and be like, no, it's nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. When obviously it's something when the whole world has joined in on this, right? So it is shameful. I do agree. It is very shameful that that's where he went with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And, to make fun of it, to say that you're blowing it all the way while people are dying in hospital of all this, I mean, you got to stop. You have to pick your places, William, don't you think?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's completely out of line. I mean, you're talking about a disease that's here now. It's killing individuals. And yet people are making light of it. They're either stating unequivocally that it doesn't exist, it's a hoax, or what have you, or they're making uninformed statements, or like this gentleman does, or I use the term gentleman loosely. He's just blowing it off as if it's not grounded in reality. It's here. It's a fact that this disease is, I guess, here to stay. I mean, the way they're painting it. This whole scenario has blossomed into an opportunity to spread misinformation, an opportunity for people to gather and get access to information from sources they really shouldn't pay attention to. I mean, if I want a medical perspective on my own health, I'm not going to talk to a politician. I'm not going to talk to a auto mechanic. I'm going to talk to a medical professional. And yet people are making decisions and they're listening to their politicians make statements about medical fact. And they're not trained to talk in that direction. I mean, if I wanted to level my house, I wouldn't talk to a bus driver, would I? No. So why would I possibly want to get medical advice from a politician? Why would I want to listen to a person that's making statements that are so outrageous and embarrassing? And then the strange thing is that he probably won't lose any followers. After this rant and he's just blowing it away and addressing it like it's a non-issue, he may not lose any followers. It won't hurt his credibility at all. It won't hurt his popularity. It'll be like nothing ever happened. I guess, I don't know if that's a statement about him, his followers, or society in general, but it's a horrible enough situation with the disease. And then you add the kind of behavior the way some people are acting, it's downright embarrassing, Dave.
Moonjoy, we give you the final word here through the bandana tonight on this because you follow the writing of the news and what's going on writing for our SOR News Wire and Captain Shirk. When you look at everything that's gone on through all of this, is this just dumbing down people by blowing it all away like Kenneth Copeland did?
Well, I just can't understand how he thinks he can just rub it in people's faces and play them for stupid. I mean, just like the COVID virus, I guess something good could come out of it, and that is that he's a good example of a bad example.
That's a great answer. A great answer. And, I want to say this. I have a couple people close to me who are battling this on the front lines. My cousin Darren, who is a disease specialist up here in Canada, he's been a doctor for the last almost 30 years. He's on the front lines of this. I take advice from him on this because he's leading one of the COVID programs here in British Columbia. I also look at the front row workers, the nurses out there, Goddess Michelle on Twitter. I mean, these people are heroes in trying to stop this pandemic, trying to help those who are deathly ill and in need of human help. And those are the people I take advice from. I recommend anybody out there, to say thank you to all our healthcare people like Goddess Michelle, who's on Twitter tonight at #SpacedOutRadio. We love you. And, we want to make sure that they get recognized because they're the ones on the front line. They are the people that we need to be watching. And just do yourself a favor. Wash your bloody hands and don't breathe on people. It's simple. It's simple. We can do it, people. All right, let's move on here to the next topic. Earlier this month, I had a historian on named Jim Goodall. Jim Goodall has been the official photographer, or was the official photographer for aircraft like the SR-71. He's written about 27 books on military aircraft and so on and so forth. He was the first person ever to get a picture in 1989 and have it published of the F-117 stealth fighter. This got me thinking, everyone, and William, we're going to start with you on this one, if you don't mind. When the United States military retires an aircraft, they always have something to replace it with. Yet when the SR-71 retired back in 1992, they never showed a replacement. Everybody assumes there was this hidden secret Aurora program, as well as other stealth-type aircraft that came out of Area 51. What's your thoughts regarding that? What do you think we really should accept the excuse that, almost 30 years later, 28 years later, that we rely on satellites? Or is the technology there and we're having fun with it?
I think it's a little of both. We have technology that I can safely assume, it's reasonable to assume that they've developed another aircraft to replace the F-117. That's a logical step in that direction. The military, although the military, at least the Air Force, has been exploring technologies that are unmanned, drones, things of that nature. So are they utilizing some of that in their stealth technology? Are they using that in their efforts to spy on other countries? I think so. But this is definitely a hiccup because in previous generations of aircraft, when one was retired, there were whisperings that there was another aircraft that was prepared to replace it. And we had the whisperings in the Aurora, but that hasn't surfaced yet. So something's changed along those lines at this point. But is our technology advanced enough for us to be able to spy with just satellites alone? I guess to some extent we can. But it's almost like planetary exploration. You can only gain so much information through satellites and lunar landers, things of that nature. At some point, you need to send boots on the ground. You need to send men there or women there to explore wherever you're going. So when you're spying on the country, trying to gain stealthy information about that country, you wanted to have satellites, you want to have drones, but at some point you should have a piloted craft for that endeavor. So I think the Aurora, something like that, is a reality. But I think they may have, I guess, hedged their bets a little bit, and maybe they're applying more unmanned technology in that direction. So that's my take on it.
All right, Joey, let's go to you here. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that ever since the Cold War, the U.S. has always tried to stay one step ahead of everyone else. And I just think that maybe perhaps they have finally reached a point where they have something that is just so good, so far ahead of what anyone else has, that they're not going to show it. and they're just going to act like they don't have anything else. I had a teacher a long time ago that told me that the best weapon you have against your enemy is for them not to know your strengths. So I think this might be the case here.
Yeah.
What do you think's flying out there, Joey?
Hypersonic.
Now, you're a guy who has taken time right out of touring Utah, the Nevada deserts, and everything like that. Do you think it's hidden at Area 51, or do you think it's somewhere else?
I think it's somewhere else because that's where everyone thinks it is.
Good answer. Amber, let's get you on this one. I know you're totally up to date on secret military aircraft living on the base of Newfoundland on that giant rock.
Definitely not. I can try. Hit me with it. I don't know.
What do you think's hiding in the sky? Do you think there is something, very stealthy that we don't know about, or do you think we're actually spying with satellites these days?
I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one. There are so many things in the skies nowadays that, I look and I'm like, is that a satellite? Is that something else? Is that just a drone? Like, it's hard to tell what we could or could not be using in terms of spying or anything like that in the sky with how many random things I've been like, especially now without many planes in the air too. And we're in one of the major pathways for flights in Newfoundland, and it's been pretty quiet. So when you see something in the sky and you're like, I don't know what that is, it's interest piquing for sure, but I have no idea.
I thought that was a pretty solid answer for not knowing what the hell you were talking about. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I got to ask you this then. With GUFON Radio, Little Richie G coming on in here. You're a guy who likes to go outside, look for UFOs, and see what's strange and weird flying around. Have you ever caught anything like the Aurora on any film, Rich?
Nope, not even close. I've captured 3 points of light. Any 3 points would form a triangle, but I don't know if it was one big ship. I don't think it was, but was it 3 iridium flare satellites? I don't know. But it's happened a couple times, 5 times already. I don't know if the TRB-3 or whatever that thing is could be the answer to this. I doubt it. But after the SR-71 retired, were the stealth bombers already out? They were already out, right?
They were already out, yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know, man, because in 97, we had the Phoenix Lights here, which could have been a showing off of that big new craft we have. 1 to 2 miles wide is pretty big for something that we would have to build to float without being heard. So yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe we're more advanced than we think we are, than we're being told. That's what I think.
Do you think, though, that a craft like that is being hidden in some of the most logical places like Area 51? We always want to say the minute something secret is out there, oh, that's at Area 51. It's based at Area 51. Like, for instance, Jim Goodall, he believes that the next stealth fighter / bomber, the F-21, which is literally a smaller version of the B-2 bomber, is stationed and doing test flights out of Area 51. But with all the popularity around there, do you really think that we're still keeping those type of projects hidden in the Nevada desert, Rich?
No, I don't think so. I think they had to move. Definitely. And I don't know where. I would think they would get some land, get an island somewhere in the middle of the Pacific or somewhere, nobody could go. And people could just speculate there's something out over the water we can't figure out. It's, you could just pick it. Antarctica, you want to go there? I mean, there's some flatlands all over this world where they could make 2, 3, 4 mile runways, or you don't need a runway at all, just a landing pad. Yeah, who knows? I mean, there's so much land that they could hide behind already. They could do it in our backyard. We wouldn't even know about it.
You're very right. Like, give you an example here. Okay, Churchill, Manitoba, which is in the middle of nowhere. There's not even any roads in Churchill, Manitoba. Granted, it's a Canadian city, has a population of 899 people. All right, has an 8-mile-long runway. Why? Because it's one of the emergency landing spots for the old space shuttle program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is a place that has more polar bears than people.
That's great.
And yet, it has an 8-mile runway. You know, so
Well,
the way I look at it, I mean, what about Alaska? Alaska has a ton of those little islands that are uninhabited, easy to put a base on there, right in the strait there. Why not?
I think they're peppered all over the world. I think that's why, especially the United States, likes to be all in every country, in everybody's business, so they could do what they want, wherever they want, whenever they want.
Oh, could very well be. What do you think, William?
I'm with Rich. I mean, Area 51 is so well known. It would be problematic to have all your secret technology there. It would have to be spaced out somewhere else. Not that there's no development going on at that base now, but it makes sense that because it's so well known to the public, there may be other bases, whether within the continental U.S. or some other territories, or like you guys said, Alaska. Possibilities where there's areas that are uninhabited, out in the middle of nowhere, where you could hide a base and conduct research and development on secret aircraft without anybody knowing. So, yeah, I agree. It's probably at least a large percentage of the stuff is not at Area 51 at this point.
And
all
also,
right.
when
yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Rich.
I was just going to say, when they created Area 51, it was in the middle of nowhere and still is. But back then, in the 50s, 60s, however long it went undetected, nobody cared what was going on over there until, I think, who was it? Stanton Friedman came out with the Area 51 stuff. I don't know. Roswell. And they started looking.
Oh, he did Roswell. It was George Knapp and Bob Lazar. Yeah, but the base is known. But I mean, yeah, that story really broke the Area 51 reality to the public. But
hasn't that base been there since the 50s, 40s?
Yeah, it was originally the base where the U-2 spy plane was developed.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure my history is right. All right. So back then, nobody cared what the government. Everybody believed that the government. Nobody wanted to spy on us or spy on them. Now it's Joe Citizen out there.
Well, I got to say this. Moon Joey, I want to give you the final word on this, as we only got about 90 seconds left before we got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour on the SOR Paranormal Roundtable. Joe, where do you think these new toys, these fancy toys, are hiding?
I really don't know. I can tell you one thing, though, that living in the shadow of NORAD, I see that most of the things happen at night that I cannot explain. And predominantly it's silent propulsion. It's not moving incredibly fast, but instead moving incredibly slow. So I just don't know. I don't think they would be hiding it around Cheyenne Mountain. It would be too obvious. But beats me where they could be.
I'm just curious, too. I am very curious, too. I always think that they're somewhere out in the Atlantic, or the Pacific Ocean, Alaska, somewhere out there where there's not very many people hanging on out. Hey, I got to tell you guys, we got a very, very special announcement here for one of our listeners as we get ready to go to break here. One of our listeners, Fap, he hangs out with his family and listens to the show. And one of the people who listens with Fap every Friday and Saturday night is Grandma Rose. Grandma Rose turned 97 yesterday, and she loves this show. She loves what we do. I think personally that she's been abducted by aliens, or, maybe gave Sasquatch a little kiss on the cheek at one point in the forest somewhere. But we want to say happy birthday to Grandma Rose here. We hope that you have just a very, very special, special birthday, and thank you for allowing us to share it with you, Grandma Rose. More of the SOR Paranormal Roundtable with the crew here on Spaced Out Radio next.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Bekkerud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR News Wire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR News Wire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Need that weekend supernatural fix? Look no further than Spaced Out Saturday right here at spacedoutradio.com. I'm Stacey Edwards.
And I'm John Edwards. Each Saturday night, Stacey and I are going to bring you the best in paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, you name it, and we're going there.
It's all about the experience and to share the knowledge with all of you.
So tune us in every Saturday night on Spaced Out Saturdays, starting at 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Great to have each and every one of you with us tonight. We say thank you for coming on in. And I got to tell you, if you haven't checked out our free archives, you know, there's other shows out there that charge you for their archives. We don't. No, we do not. Ours are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. And, of course, you can follow my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. The SOR Paranormal Roundtable continues tonight as we add in a new addition to the show because she was on a phone call, too busy talking aliens and government conspiracies and tinfoil work. Lorien Fenton joins us on the panel as well. Now we're going to get into a little bit of fun now because one of the things that we did this past week is we talked a lot of cryptids. We had Jody Cook on talking Dogman and Anubis-type creatures over in the Middle East that are apparently being hunted down by secret military groups. We had the crypto guru, Ronald Murphy. We had David Weatherly on. And, Lorien, we're going to start with you on this one because you're the new fresh voice here and probably a voice of reason.
I'll tell you what.
Well, of course
what
you
were
are.
You guys, wait, before we get into this, what were you talking about before you asked me the $6 million question?
We were talking about Dogman.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's interesting.
Right.
It's a subject I know nothing about. So
no,
there you go.
But everybody will be able to get to know this one. All right, because if you think of all the cryptid creatures that are out there, Lorien, what do you think is the one that we are actually going to discover is real? Is it Bigfoot? Is it Dogman? Is it Megalodon? Is it the thylacine or the Tasmanian tiger in New Zealand and Australia? Which cryptid creature out there, Lorien, do you think is the one that we are going to be able to prove in existence?
I don't think we're going to be able to prove any of them, but the one that we could probably get, and I'll tell you what, I take that back. I'm going to say that somebody out there has already discovered these things, and they're hiding the truth from us. That's my first belief, right out of the gate.
Oh, you got to explain that, tinfoiler.
I believe that the military has captured Bigfoot. They've captured other kinds of things. If you believe any of the stories coming out of the, people like Clifford Stone about aliens being here, they've also referenced that there's other types of entities being here, like the spider creatures and other things. So who knows what our government has come across and discovered and hidden from us and has locked away in some underground base or some kind of place like the Indiana Jones thing. Where they've got it in a formaldehyde bottle and it's sitting there on a shelf,
Oh,
I absolutely believe they do. I really believe that. And I think if we get anywhere close, it's going to be Bigfoot first. That's my take.
William, I could hear you groaning in that, that's from wearing the Stan Smith 1976 tennis runners too tightly.
No, yeah, I agree with Bigfoot because you have the chance to gather some physical evidence. We've discussed this before, how you don't have to capture an actual physical specimen of an animal to tell it's there. An animal influences its environment. You find scat, you find hair, you find scratch marks on trees. You can tell something's there, and if you account for all the species you know of, then something unknown may be inhabiting that environment. And I think I think Bigfoot fits that bill. Megalodon, I could see that because we know less about our oceans than we do about the surface of the moon. So could a large prehistoric fish still exist in the oceans? I think that's a possibility. And you mentioned the thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger. I don't think that was. It's been declared extinct, but there's been so many sightings since 1930s. I think 33, 36 when it was declared extinct over the past 6-7 decades. So it lends itself to the idea that it's extremely rare. But since a lot of Tasmania is still unexplored, I can imagine a small population has hung on since then. So I think the thylacine never really went extinct. But as far as cryptids, my guess would be Bigfoot.
Joey, you are someone who has investigated these creatures in Colorado, in Utah. You've talked about the secret S a little bit as well, and in Utah around a certain ranch. What do you think? Which creature out there, cryptid-wise, is the one that we're going to be able to, quote, end quote, prove scientifically?
Well, I think you mentioned it. I don't like to use the S word. I'll just say the four-legged, because it's not actually a cryptid. It's a medicine man that has practiced some dark medicine, and that's the creature that people have named that certain ranch after, and I think that could be proven. There are certainly enough chances to, if people would set up their experiments properly, they could probably prove it. And I actually had an experience with something like that, and it freaked me out. And I don't know, I might be willing to try and go back, but I wouldn't do it alone.
Can I interject something here?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, is this Jeremy? Jeremy who? Hi, Lorien Fenton here.
Joey writes for our SOR News Wire.
Oh, okay. Joey, nice to meet you. I wanted to tell you something. I know a few, I'm not going to say how many, people that worked on the ranch when it was owned by Mr. B. And I'm doing all the shortening of the words because apparently we're not allowed to talk about it here on the show. I'm laughing about it. So anyhow, I'm laughing about it. So anyhow, my point to all this is they have emphatically told me, I've tried to get them to go back there and work on the surrounding ranches with me and do research, and they won't go near the place. They will not go near it. They refuse to step foot on that property ever again. So that tells me something very important. I think Joey's absolutely right. You know, it's like, do you want to go back and poke that bear? You know, there's a big question there.
Or maybe there was nothing there to go back to.
Sorry, Rich. Please, go ahead.
I was just saying maybe there was nothing there to go back to, but no, there had to be for them. Maybe they were there for 7 years for a reason, but they were they were catching stuff. And I'm going to go to the Stardust Ranch tomorrow to see if there's any real evidence that could possibly be in the surrounding area.
Now, I know who's this? Joey again?
This is Dr. Stephen Greer.
No.
Yeah.
This is Rich Giordano from GUFON Radio.
Okay, Rich, I just wanted to tell you, if you're going to the Stardust, you've got to report back in. Can you do a live report into Dave's show or something? Because I'm telling you, I wonder about that place. I really do. But I have known about that place for way longer than most people. And the only reason I never went out there, whereas Carrie Cassidy and a whole bunch of other people went trampling over there immediately after they met the guy, is because he told me at one point that the Beatles were coming into the building to meet with him. So, and George Harrison was going to be there, and George Harrison was quite dead, obviously, at the time. So I couldn't really go there with that guy. So I'm not saying that I don't believe him, but he may be just a common, abductee.
Right.
And
that's why I'm going there, even though he's not there. I don't think anybody's living there now. But I just want to see if there's activity in the area. And yes, I'll be doing it live on my show. So you're more than welcome to, check it out. Hopefully.
I will. That'll be fun.
And Greer is not coming with me on that one.
All right. Amber, let's get your thoughts. Out of all the cryptids, Amber Bekkerud from the Cryptid Tales on our YouTube channel. Amber, which cryptid do you think is out there and existing today?
That's a hard one. I mean, I could just say that I'm voting for the tiny T-Rexes in Texas, but, that would just be wishful thinking. I'm really loving the low disapproving groans coming through.
No, that's Marge. That's our male Marge Simpson right there.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Amber, I gotta say, the tiny T-Rexes in Texas sounds like a bad cowboy song. Actually,
it really does.
It's very cute.
Yes.
No, you know what? I think I could agree on all of the things that have been said tonight. I mean, I've had encounters even last year with the cryptid in question that Joey is talking about. And, I've also had experiences living in the Yukon for most of my life with Bigfoot. So it could very well be any of those things. But I do also agree that I think the military know more than what they're letting on, and they have something that they're not telling us. So I think we do know things. We're just not putting it out there fully
I'm
yet.
thinking Megalodon. I think that Bigfoot is too expensive of a project to prove real because of the forest industry, mining industry, and until we get away from those type of resources, we're not going to be able to find Bigfoot. That's my opinion on that. Megalodon, though, or a shark that is in between, a predatory shark in between the great white and Megalodon, I do believe is out there. Not because I have a God-fearing fear of sharks, which I'm very public about, and that's why Dave doesn't do the ocean or rivers or lakes.
You're never going to come here.
Or streams. No, never. Never.
Wise
There's great
man.
whites over there. There's great whites over there. All right. They're tracking great whites all the way to Nova Scotia. Yeah, Dave isn't going there. All right. But nonetheless, I will third person myself at that. But nonetheless, every couple of years we have these new videos or these new photos of whales and other great white sharks with bite marks out of them that are not double bite marks. They are single bite marks. And when they measure those bite marks, they're talking about a creature that could be anywhere from 25 to 40 feet just on the size of its jaw. All right, and the size of the bite mark. That tells me that there is something way bigger out there in the ocean that we do not know about. And if you think about it, with the ocean being so vast, it was only the last couple of years where we got the video footage of Big Blue, which was a 20-foot female great white shark, the largest one that was ever filmed. So I think that there are bigger predatory sharks out there. We just have not found them. And that's where I'm going. Rich, you get the final say on this one. I know you're going to Stardust Ranch looking for some aliens, but which cryptid do you think is going to be proven real?
Well, I'm going to be the one that everybody moans and groans about more than ever, because I don't think there ever will be any evidence captured. Yeah, because that's why we don't have it now, tough guy. That's why we don't have it now. We can't. It's not going to happen. They're too smart, too quick, too fast. Even if they're part of the earth, how are they moving around? 1 minute you see them, the next minute you don't, out of the corner of the eye. You know, it's always just out of vision, just out of reach, just out of touch. It can never get it, and I don't think we ever will.
Are you specifically talking about Bigfoot? Because
everything.
Everything. Oh, very cool.
Everything. Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman. Who? Nessie, yeah.
Yeah.
That we don't know. It could be a seal otter for all we know. I know it wouldn't be, but I don't know. Since we haven't captured them now, I don't think we're ever going to capture them and study them and have that kind of evidence. Yeah, you're going to have scat and hair, and even that's even on the skeptical side because, it's got, dog DNA in it. It's got deer DNA, bear DNA. It's always a mix with something. But that's why nothing will ever be full-blown evidence, even the skinwalkers.
Oh, he said it. He said it.
Bigelow. Oh, there he is.
Oh, my God.
I hear you there. All right. We're going to move on here because, we're going to stick with the ranch because why not? We can. It is the latest in a hot button reality television shows on History Channel. And I do have to say the name, Joey. Skinwalker Ranch. And, previous to this coming on, the new owner, although he's not very new, but the owner of 4 years, a real estate magnate out of Utah named Brandon Fugel, has really been acting quite loudly and proudly on UFO Twitter about Skinwalker Ranch and about the TV series coming up. And 3 episodes in, I expected us to be oohing and aahing. I was hopeful. Haven't seen it yet. Joey, I'm going to give you the first words on this because I know this area is close to your heart.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that I can picture Stan Friedman doing a show for the Travel Channel or History Channel to reveal his evidence or his findings. So I really take a show like that with a grain of salt. I think it's just sensationalism, and I really can't put any stock in anything that they're saying.
Why not? What picks you about it, man?
Well, you can kind of pick apart, just like with ghost hunting devices, you can pick them apart if you take your time to and see that there's no real fact behind it.
That is very true.
Rich mentioned about skinwalkers. He mentioned about skinwalkers. Darn it, you got me to say that word. There's no proof, but there can be proof. And I know how to get the proof, but I would risk my life doing it. So, but with that ranch and that show, I just don't see what they're doing other than to sell something.
Little Richie G, what's your thoughts?
Well, don't have many this time because I haven't even watched one episode yet. So all I can say is I've read the articles, and it's just weird how this guy is acting, the new owner, quote unquote, new. Yeah, I think it's all about sensationalism, and man, I don't know if it's also, you never know if they're testing the public to see who's watching what. I mean, we like to think that that's what the government's doing. They're analyzing who cares, but it's really less than 1% of the people in this whole world that really care like we do, that we're so passionate about it. So it's not a lot of people, but people are watching it, I think, and they're interested. So they're getting a good feel for Skinwalker on a almost mainstream level for the first time, the public.
Amber, what's your thoughts?
To be quite honest, I feel like I've gone out of the loop of like media again in terms of new TV shows and everything else because we got rid of our television, like channels and everything. So we just have internet now. So unless I can stream it and not have to pay for the stream, I don't watch it. So I don't know. I think there's so many things lately and still. Even months ago when I was on a roundtable, we were talking about shows that had just come out then, and the idea of the sensationalism and just gauging what people are watching, aren't watching, what's the next new horror trope, what can we really put out there to people. So without watching it, I don't know what I could say about it. I think it would be interesting to look into, but again, like Joey said, I would be taking it with a grain of salt as well, just like any paranormal show or cryptid show or what have you, or UFO show or documentary or docuseries or anything like that, you know. We just don't know enough to put stock into it without really taking all the information from everywhere and figuring out what's just, you know, fake news, what's bigger and actual, you know, true fact about things that happened, and put it all together and figure it out.
Lorien Fenton, I want to get your opinion on this because we only have a couple of minutes to go here before we go to break at the top of the hour. And this is something that very much surprised me. And Brendan Fugel actually made a message about this, about my blog that I wrote a couple weeks ago. I was talking to Bob McGwier, a good friend of yours and mine, who is a scientist at Virginia Tech. People know him in our chat rooms as Science Bob. All right. He and I had a conversation, and he confirmed it, that there has never been, to their knowledge, any true experiencers who claim to maybe have UFO contact, ET contact, have the ability of summoning, whatever it may be, all right, to go in there and have the scientists test them in that type of zone. Are you surprised, Lorien?
That's not true. That's flat out a lie. And the reason I know is because I know. And I can't tell you guys how I know, because the person that I know all this from is sworn to secrecy with Bigelow because he was at the ranch. So that is flat out. I mean, it's not a lie. It's just flat out not true. They did have experiencers there, and I got to point out two very important things. Number one, Fugel has a partner. He is truly the man with the real money behind Skinwalker Ranch. He's a silent partner. He lives in Europe, and that may or may not be known. I don't know. Secondly, in the opening credits of the whole show, they say the federal government has all the information now. So we know that NIDS turned over all their stuff to the military and the Department of Defense, to whoever wanted their information. They've got it all, and it's under lock and key, and we're never going to hear about it. Okay, that's too, and that's very important to understand. All the stuff that they're putting out there on the NIDS, on the Skinwalker Ranch now, is all new insight into the ranch, but not anywhere close to what these guys were stirring up when they were out there during the Bob Bigelow days. And that's all I can tell you guys without, breaching my confidentiality. But there was so much stuff that was never put in George Knapp's book, that was never talked about from anybody that ever talked about Skinwalker Ranch. And like I said before, many of the people that were there at the time during the Bigelow era will never go back there. They're that afraid of that place.
I'd go. Oh, I would go.
Oh, I would too, in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. All right, everybody hold on here. We are going to go to break at the top of the hour. The SOR Paranormal Roundtable continues right after this. And when we come back, we will be joined by William Pullin, Rich Giordano, Amber Bekkerud, Moon Joey, and Lorien Fenton as we continue the roundtable in hour number 2 right after this. Stay tuned.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is watching.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hey everyone, I'm John Edwards.
And I'm Stacey Edwards. Together we're taking over Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio, where we're going to bring our own experiences of the paranormal and talk to the best people we can find to help bring you answers to your strange tales.
We're here to entertain your need for weekend woo! So tune us in at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, where we can all get a little spooky together.
Spaced Out Saturday nights right here at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR News Wire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR News Wire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, this is Amber Bekkerud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spicing up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America. On the digital side, we're on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Isotropic. Isotropic is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire, and much more. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter for the show at Spaced Out Radio, as well my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. Every month end, we do the SOR Roundtable, where I bring in some friends and we discuss the month that was in the weird, the strange, and the obscure, as we continue on tonight with our guests, Amber Bekkerud from Cryptid Tales, Moonjoy from the SOR News Wire. He's one of our writers. We got UFO historian William Pullin, who will never, ever take his pleats out of his khaki shorts. As well, we got GUFON Radio's Rich Giordano, along with Lorien Fenton from the Fenton Perspective. And everyone, we're going to move on here because, now that we're all locked inside and doing our thing and chilling on out, a lot of people are, trying to figure out the UFO world right now. And Vice magazine had a recent article by MJ Benias that came out regarding how to get involved with UFO research for those who just maybe have a keen interest and want to learn. And he talked everything from podcasting to books that people should be reading to everything of the sorts. Now, I want to ask you guys, and Amber, we'll start with you on this one, if you don't mind. If somebody approached you and said, look, I really want to get into UFOs, or I really want to get into cryptids or paranormal investigation, what's the most important piece of advice that you could give someone who's just starting out?
Always be a skeptic.
Yeah,
that is literally, as much as I believe, and I've had all these experiences and I've done all of these things, I still go into every investigation I do, every TV show that I watch, every conversation I have with other people about their experiences, being a skeptic. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of slip up, is they either go like hardcore skeptic or hardcore, like, I'm a believer, absolutely everything is paranormal, absolutely everything is a UFO, this is, and they just go overboard with it. And I find that we need to be skeptics for sure, because you need to rule out all the logical answers and, whether it is just a natural phenomena or anything like that. And then still say, okay, is there something that we can't explain? Is there something that we don't know? And so, just be a skeptic. Don't take everything for face value. Do your research. And get all the information. Don't just watch one person's videos and think you know everything about that topic. I could go on. That's my first rule. Be a skeptic.
That's actually a pretty solid one. William, let's get your opinion.
I agree with Amber. I mean, you have to have a healthy skepticism. You want to consume information from all points of view. Not just science, not just from a believer standpoint, not just a skeptical standpoint. You want to be aware of everything that's going on. When you educate yourself, you become far more able to discern what's fake, what's misinformation, what's disinformation. And a healthy skepticism is good because every legitimate civilian, military, or otherwise group that's examined the UFO topic, every researcher from James McDonald to Carol Kehoe to Keller Randall to Stan Friedman to everyone in between, always arrives at 5 to 10% of unexplained cases. Only 5 to 10%, which means the majority of this stuff is explainable. How many of those 5 to 10% are actually extraterrestrial? We don't know. Probably not 100%. So the vast majority of UFO sightings are explainable and mundane in nature. They're not alien spacecraft. The majority aren't. And that's not saying that some aren't. I believe in alien visitation, but to think that 80 to 90% or even 40% of UFO sightings are people observing alien spacecraft, that's the data does not support that. So a healthy skepticism and an effort to educate yourself. Like Amber said, don't just take one person's point of view. Word of mouth is not good enough. You need evidence. You need data. You need different chains of evidence. You need to examine the work of different researchers that have different points of view and different ways to look at things, whether it's more of a woo approach, whether it's a scientific approach, whatever the case may be. Educate yourself as much as possible, and this whole COVID-19 scenario we're all in is a perfect time to do it. Most of us are incarcerated at home. We can't go to work. We have time on our hands. What should we do? Educate ourselves. So I'll stop there, Dave.
All right, Moon Joey, your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Bill. I would just like to add that you have to have someone to bounce it off of. So if you can have an association with different individuals on both sides of the coin, I think that helps to, bring out things that you might not thought of or that could lend credence to what you believe, or, it could be the other way and just dispel what you're thinking they are. All the opinions matter and all the research matters, and you have to have somewhere to put all that information for it to be analyzed and further talked about.
That's good advice, too. GUFON, Little Richie G.
Yo. Well, if you want to get into doing this kind of research, the one thing that I think is the most important thing of all, skepticism's great. You got to have that. You also want to be open-minded enough to believe in it that it could be a possibility, or your passion isn't there and you won't be doing research very long. You have to have the passion for it. Now, the most important thing, and this doesn't happen for everybody, but I believe when it comes to UFOs first, you need to see something you can't explain. You have to have that experience. Same with ghost hunting. If you don't ever have an experience of being touched, felt, scratched, had a feeling, got nauseous or whatever, you're never going to understand the phenomena. You're never going to get it. And yes, it's true. If you have the experience, you know what it's like to be there. You know that's right. Okay, if I've never been scratched or touched or whatever, and somebody says, "Oh, I was scratched," I'm thinking, yeah, you have a fork in your pocket. I know that fork routine. I've seen it before. A lot of people carry forks when they go ghost hunting. I found out. I don't know if that's true. No, it's not. But they always have the three scratches, right? Of course, and then it always curves at the end where their hand would slide off. Anyway, I just I don't buy a lot of these ghost hunting shows, but I think you need to experience it, and that I'm going to say comes from experience, because I did not believe in certain things until they happened to me. And now I believe it, and it's a totally different world. It opens up a whole new thing for my mind. But anyway, bounce ideas off somebody who's more skeptical than anybody else if you have that person around, because that'll always keep you leveled off no matter what. If they say, "Oh, yeah, it looks like a bird," then you look at it differently. Oh, maybe it is a bird. So I don't know. There's so many different things, but I think having that skeptical open mind and also having the experience would also be very helpful, needed.
Lorien Fenton, we bring you in. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm torn because I agree with everybody so far. Okay, everybody's got a very valid point, and I think you need to take all of that into consideration. But my big thing, and most of you know this from listening to my radio shows, is that nobody understands their history of ufology. Mm-hmm. They need to understand where we've been and where we're at now, and everything in between. And they need to go back and listen to all the old people who started this and sit through these 1.5, 2 hour bad videos of all of them talking about what happened to them, what they experienced. Because you got to remember, those were the days when coming out and getting on a stage and talking about this was so damaging to your life that you have no idea, guys. You have no idea what it was like back in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. And these people were up there telling their honest-to-God truth from their heart and what was going on with them. A lot of them are not with us anymore. A lot of them had some very bad, and if you want to call it Men in Black experiences, go right ahead, but I think it's a lot of military involvement and a lot of strange things happened to people back then. Nowadays, what we're doing is we are not getting to the meat of really what's going on with ufology. It's turned into an entertainment industry, and that is a big problem for me, because then I see people who have these podcasts and are doing all this stuff, and they go, yeah, the UFO is real, or it wasn't, or, whatever, or we've got 6 videos and 3 of them are obviously CGI. And they're acting like it's all real. And they go, what if, and all that. They're not really understanding what the emotional impact is of seeing a UFO, experiencing being abducted, experiencing contact or whatever it is, and it being part of your life. And this scares me immensely because I come from a generation where I had to know. When I got into UFO research, if I didn't know who George Adamski was and Valiant Thor and, Arnold and about the Texas Roswell and I had great mentors. They all said, go out there, learn everything you can about every incident, every sighting, every story, every contactee that's out there. Listen to them all, read their books. I used to read a book a day, literally a book a day on ufology. And, I thank God I've got a somewhat photographic memory so I can remember most of this. But you guys, if you don't have your history and you don't know what came before, you're going to rehash and change stories. That's another thing that's bothering me now. There's a bunch of stories floating around there about certain incidents, and I know full well it did not happen the way it's being talked about on these new, younger guys' podcast out there. And that scares me immensely, too, because people are getting false stories now. So my advice to anybody getting into this is go take a history class in ufology by going back and looking at all the, what I call the whistleblowers back then, like Whitley Strieber, Carla Turner, the list goes on and on. Phil Schneider, I could just give you a huge amount of people. I'd have to go get on my bookshelf and just spout off names, but go to the old people, listen to everything they had to say, digest that, and then start researching for yourself. And then the other most important thing is too, just like I think it was Joey that said it, that you've got to have the experience yourself, or don't even bother becoming a researcher, because you have to be part of the whole experience. And one other quick thing, do not quit your day job. Do not quit your day job. Why do all these people think they're going to make a living being a ufologist? I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Well, because all you have to do is lie about your credentials and apply for a bunch of conferences and television shows, and boom, you're set. That's just the way certain people are doing it now.
You have friends in higher places. Yep.
Exactly.
Places.
I would say my theory on all of this for anybody who's starting new is don't choose a side. Immediately, we always want to choose sides. Yes, Bigfoot is an ape. No, it is a supernatural species. And we feel that we have to change sides. The reason why I love people like David Weatherly or John Tenney and a number of other researchers out there, Micah Hanks comes to mind once again, is they are open-minded to everything. If you are coming into this with preconceived notions of what Bigfoot is or what Dogman is or what ghosts are or what UFOs and aliens are, you're already starting off on the wrong foot. I would say keep an open mind and, let the information take you to where you need to go. And too much of this entire field is being broken down into small, minute pieces that it's really segregating numerous people in numerous areas. We have people, as you've heard me say many a times before, conducting alleged scientific experimentation, when in reality the only thing they're conducting is opinion. Don't have an opinion. Just be open-minded. Let everything flow through, and then you can start to kind of find your path on where you feel you need to go with your research and who you listen to, who you view on YouTube, and what books to read. That's my suggestion of it all. And we're going to move on from there.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bring up William Pullin in this one because a couple of days ago, he had a post about UFOs, which said, UFOs doesn't mean aliens, or something along those lines. William, what did you post?
Not correct. No, my post was memo to the UFO community. The acronym UFO does not mean alien spacecraft.
And I come on there, and William's in a bad mood, and I come on and I say, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
No.
And William goes, that is
unidentified flying object. It is.
It could be anything.
I have a real problem with the lack of professionalism in the UFO community. But having said that, the acronym UFO is Unidentified Flying Object. If you're able to determine it's an alien spacecraft, it ceases to be unidentified. For lack of a better term, it becomes an identified flying object. To the general public, UFO means alien spacecraft, and that's unfortunate. That acronym is thrown around it's too sloppy. We see things. There are anomalous things seen in the sky all the time by intelligent, level-headed, grounded people. They can't identify these things. That doesn't mean they're all alien spacecraft, but a certain percentage, I think, are. But we can't assume they're all alien. We can't assume they're all explainable. Both those positions are unreasonable. But we have to be careful with the language we use, because people that are not knowledgeable about the UFO topic per se will hear somebody in the field use the term UFO in a sloppy way, and they'll be misinformed. And that misinformation gets carried over on and on and on. Like Lorien was saying earlier, you have historical cases that are 30, 40, 60 years old, and they're being profiled on podcasts and written about in books, and the information is becoming skewed. It's becoming inaccurate. It's being twisted so that the original case is not known to the public now, because people are hearing the case as it's being described now. The truth is being what was once objective truth has been changed over the years by authors, by podcasters, by researchers. That's a horrible problem. So the way you hear a case when it occurred, say, in 1958 is different from the way it's described now because of that sloppy transcribing. So, yeah, but going back to that term UFO, UFO does not mean alien spacecraft. Not at all.
Well, my point was this in regards to it, and I love how sensitive you got with that, because I could feel your Irish blood starting to boil. I really could.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to throw some Lucky Charms at you or something in order to calm you on down there. No? Okay. But the point that I'm getting at is this. If you've never had an extraterrestrial experience, it's never aliens when you talk about UFOs. But when you have had that extraterrestrial experience, whether you've been abducted or you've had some sort of contact, UFOs always means extraterrestrials, because you cannot convince the person who had that experience that it's not. That's the point that I'm trying to get at here. Little Richie G, your thoughts?
I'll get back to you, Dave, a little later on.
Well, you wanna respond now? You might as well.
Sure, I'll do it now. And Dave, I totally understand that, because an experiencer, when they witness a UFO event, it becomes a very personal thing to them, and I totally get that. Having never seen a UFO myself, I completely am open to what experiencers see, because they experience something I never have. I have a point of view that they don't have. They have a point of view that I don't have. But this idea that you need to have experienced something to be a quality researcher is unreasonable. It's too dogmatic, because by that standard, Stanton Friedman doesn't know what he's talking about. He never saw a UFO.
He really doesn't.
Peter Sturrock doesn't know what he's talking about. He never saw a UFO. Dr. Jalen Hynek doesn't know what he's talking about. He never saw a UFO. I think that would be unreasonable to say that too. It's somewhere in the middle, where an objective scientist needs to be open to experiencers' testimony to take that into account. But an experiencer also needs to be able to temper their point of view with a scientific perspective. So people need to meet in the middle. A dogmatic viewpoint either way doesn't get us anywhere. That's my point.
All right, little Richie G, you're up.
Well, it's just going off on what William was saying. It's very hard to have the best of all worlds when it comes to researching. Like, I would like to have the money to go out and go to different states, maybe even different countries, and interview people who just had a sighting. So we're as good as we can be with the tools that we have. Now, if you have an experience, it does something to you. It changes you, and I would think you would know that. I think that would enrich your research experience tenfold if you knew what it was like to see a real UFO. Mm-hmm. Yes, UFO means unidentified flying object, but I know what Dave was saying. Everybody thinks of aliens, and in a way, that's kind of what the government wanted. They'd rather us think that than military stuff, I think, because most of this stuff could be military. it could just be mundane stuff, which I think it is. I think 90% is mundane objects and 5% is military, and the other 5 we don't know. And that's the part that is intriguing. It's so intriguing. It's been in my life for 16 years or 17, and it's just getting better and better because there's more stuff coming out continuously. Not a lot of evidence, but a lot of older stuff is coming out, which I like Lorien saying, we got to know the history. You do. You need to see how people spoke about this stuff when it first happened. It's bizarre.
Yes.
But a lot of those people were part of the stereotypical UFO world we live in, which is why they're trying to make it UAP now, because they think that's going to change it. It's just confusing everybody. Anyway, the experience, I think, if you don't have it, you can be a great researcher, but you're just missing a little something inside.
That's beautifully put.
Oh, I know.
Rich, you hold on. I want you to continue. I want to continue this thought right after this. Rich Giordano, William Pullin, Lorien Fenton, Amber Bekkerud, and Moon Joey join yours truly, Dave Scott, on the SOR Paranormal Roundtable as we are going the distance tonight, and we continue on with this important subject right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Bekkerud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thorne, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know little brother is watching.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR 2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Need that weekend supernatural fix? Look no further than Spaced Out Saturday right here at spacedoutradio.com. I'm Stacey Edwards.
And I'm John Edwards. Each Saturday night, Stacey and I are going to bring you the best in paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, you name it, and we're going there.
It's all about the experience and to share the knowledge with all of you.
So tune us in every Saturday night on Spaced Out Saturdays, starting at 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR News Wire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR News Wire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Welcome back as we pass the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for choosing us to spend your time with. I want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire, and you can rock out to Bumblefoot as well. We're on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and you can follow my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR as well. It's the Paranormal Roundtable. We do it at the final back end of every month, where I bring in some friends and we talk about the month that was in the strange and weird. Joining us tonight, we have from the SOR News Wire, Moon Joey from Cryptid Tales on our YouTube channel, Amber Bekkerud, Rich Giordano from GUFON Radio, from the Fenton Perspective, Lorien Fenton, and the man, the myth, and the khaki-slacked legend, we have UFO historian William Pullin. Now, right before the break, I had asked the panel a question, and William and both Rich chimed on in. And Joey, we're going to start with you on this one. UFOs, does it really mean aliens, or is it something all different altogether?
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean aliens, but it more than likely means something that we haven't explained well enough or researched enough to know what it really is. It all depends on the experiencer, really. I mean, you have people that just are fascinated. They saw something they can't explain, and they might think it might be aliens, and they're happy with that experience, and that's it. But there are other people who want to know more, and they want an explanation, and that's something that I think we all want to know. Personally, I've done research on different things, including USOs. I don't know if that's an acceptable term for the ones that are underwater. But there are explanations, like there are supercavitation torpedoes that, believe it or not, go 200 knots underwater, and that certainly could be a plausible explanation for something traveling at great speeds under the water, simply attributed to aliens because we don't know that such a technology exists. So, I don't know. It could go either way, but we should keep an open mind to all possibilities.
Well, there you go. Amber, your thoughts, UFOs versus aliens?
I don't know. I think I'm on that weird border of like a UFO to me growing up was always an unidentified flying object. It never actually meant aliens. It could be, something that we haven't identified before, whether it's military or space debris or what have you. But I think depending on the conversation I'm having and who I'm talking to, then yes, my head could very much go straight to aliens and that it is aliens that they're talking about. Or, yeah, I don't know. I'm on that weird fence where it doesn't always mean aliens to me, but it could in certain situations. But yeah, if you haven't identified what the object is, it's a UFO. Whereas anything to do with aliens or alien specific would be extraterrestrial spacecraft or aircraft or, an extraterrestrial sighting if you see, an alien here on Earth or anything like that. So I think it has been interchanged by a lot of people. So it really also depends on how you're brought up with it, I guess, and how, people around you were using the terminology as well for you to figure out what it means to you. But I'm on the fence. It can go both ways depending on the conversation.
And final word, Lorien, I can't be the only one who thinks that UFOs means aliens.
Well, I've got a weird take on it. I'm so old that they were flying saucers when I was a kid, okay? And in all the science fiction, they were flying saucers. And then about the late 70s, early 80s, everybody started calling them UFOs. And it was the military who coined that phrase, just like it's the military right now is trying to get us all to name it a UAP, which I find extraordinary because what they're doing is they're seeing how many young people they can entrain to believe that that's their description of it because they don't want you to think about the alien that might be controlling that craft. Okay, so they're trying to get everybody's mindset so that they don't even think about it. Leslie Kean said something very important a long time ago when this whole thing with To the Stars Academy started and the whole shebang. She said, we will not be going to that spot where we talk about the A word. We are only going to talk about, within the Wall Street Journal, To the Stars Academy, all the PR marketing, everything that goes out with these things. It's all going to be just about the craft itself because we don't want to touch that topic until we have much more proof that these things are actually from another source, another planet, another dimension, wherever the heck they're coming from, and then we'll start talking about the intelligence behind it. And my guess is, because it's a military-controlled program, that it'll be 20 years down the road before they even bring up the A word. I mean, 2017 when they first started this whole thing? with Tom DeLonge getting, no, it was 2015. Tom DeLonge came out with a video saying, oh, pretty soon we're going to launch something so incredible your brain won't be able to wrap itself around it, right? And then the next thing you know, it's 2 years later and they finally get on a stage and say, we are To the Stars Academy. Then it was 2019 or 18, they start their TV show. Well, this thing is growing as slow as molasses. And that's what they want. They want to start entraining our brains, especially the younger people, that these are UAPs and that you don't think about what might be behind it, and that they keep fooling us into thinking it might be them behind it. In all of their TV shows, they allude to the fact this could be military. And that's what they keep saying. Well, it's a game they're playing with us, and we're falling for it. So as far as I'm concerned, they're whatever you want them to be, whatever works for you, and you have to decide yourself whether you're brave enough to decide if there is an intelligent being behind it flying the dang thing, or if you don't want to go there. And that's really what we're talking about here.
All right, we're going to have some fun here now, everyone, and you're not expecting this, but, we're all following the story of whether or not North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is dead or not. Apparently, a report has come out this afternoon that says that he is walking around and that there's now doctors flying in from China to make sure that his heart surgery went okay. But we're going to turn this into ufology here for a moment, because Kim Jong-un has one of the best haircuts we've ever seen. I'm sure you can all agree with that. Very tight on the sides with the slick back, square look on top. Nobody in the country is allowed to have his same haircut because he's one and above everyone else, and as he should be as a deity that he is. So my question to you, and Little Richie G, you're going to kick this off. Which ufologist would look best in Kim Jong-un's haircut?
Okay. I think I would like to see Luis Elizondo in that haircut.
Oh, that's nice. Why is that?
I think he needs hair, so that would help a lot. And it would make him look just, I think, a little bit more open, like he's not so, self-absorbed and a bully. And no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But that's my opinion. I just want to put that out there. No, I think it would give him a little bit of pizzazz. A little like, hello, I'm Luis Elizondo. Don't be afraid of me. Yes, I used to lie all the time for a living. Now I just do it for fun. That's the kind of hair that would give him. I don't know why I went into that.
That is just awesome. Lorien, how about you? Who are you giving the Kim Jong-un haircut to?
It's got to go to Stephen Greer.
That's a good one.
Lizard Man himself with that bad Beatles haircut, man. Oh, my God. If there was ever a reptilian that needed a hair job, it's him. So there you go. Just leave it at that. I'm not even going to go into the lies, the scandals, the stories, the truth, the fiction. I mean, my favorite thing about Stephen Greer is when he gets up on a stage and he says, I met with the King of Siam and his 1,400 cats, and we were all introduced to the woman who was the magician of the court of, blah, 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 and then we all sat down and had tea, and he told me his UFO experience. I mean, if I hear one more aggrandized story about who he knows and how he knows him, I think I'm going to throw up. But having said that Beatles haircut would look great on him.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a good call. Good call. Moon Joey, I want you in on this one, my friend. Undo the bandana.
Well,
which ufologist out there would look the best in Kim Jong-un's haircut?
Right away, what popped into my mind was Giorgio Tsoukalos. I think he worries so much about his hair that I would die just to see that on him.
Oh, yes. Well, he does kind of dictate like he knows what he's talking about, so he does equal out to, what we're talking about here tonight. And, Robert in the chat room says, Dave, how would your beard go with that haircut? Ouch. I
horrid.
Oh my goodness, Amber, which
Yes.
ufologist are you giving that haircut to?
William.
Wow. Wow. William Pullin.
Amber, touche, Amber, touche.
You know,
Never gonna have it.
I've heard nothing but compliments. You know, I heard nothing but compliments. Is that all? You're not even going to say why, Amber? You're not even going to say why?
Well, I mean, he's one of the few that I actually know, for one. So, that helps greatly. I don't know. I think it would be interesting to see what he would look like with that haircut. Slicked back.
Oh. Obviously, you don't know. William has hair down to his waist. So I guess.
Know.
Yeah. That'd be a massive haircut, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Have you seen those transformation haircuts where people who have, like, hair down to their ass and they cut off, like, right to their shoulders? It changes people. I think it'd be an interesting change.
All right. William, let's hear your response. Be nice to the young lady.
I'm a gentleman. I can't say anything. I had Giordano Tucolos in my head, but that was taken. So, gosh, with that haircut, I don't know. Oh God, I can't name him. Gosh, I don't know. Greer would look good with that haircut. I guess I'll give it to. He's not a ufologist. I guess he's not. What's his name? He's on Ancient Aliens too. Childress, David Hatcher Childress. That guy. I guess I'll give the haircut to him. Everyone took my choices, so I'll go default with Childress and leave it at that. So,
Well, I'm going to push the envelope here beautifully because they have the same size foreheads. I'm going to say David Wilcock.
Nice.
First and foremost.
Nice. Outstanding.
All right. And if you mullet the back.
Wait. He's not a ufologist. So because I thought of him first too, but he's just I can't say the words.
A weasel?
Live on air.
Charlatan?
A weasel?
A liar? A plagiarist?
An ass clown? Can we say that on air?
Yeah, he's an ass face clown.
Yeah,
I could go in a completely different direction here. I could say Linda Moulton Howe.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, could he?
Yeah.
Can you imagine Linda Moulton Howe? I want to see. Yeah, put her cat in there, dude.
The cat.
Okay, my other call, because he has such an incredible tight mustache, Robert Bigelow. Robert Bigelow with the Kim Jong Un.
He would look good in it, man.
He would look good in it.
Rock any look.
Yeah, he would look good in that. And, if you put a mullet on the back, you got Corey Good as well. So those would be my three choices.
Yep, pretty much.
In regards to that. All right, let's tighten it up here a little bit as we got about 7.5 minutes to go before we go to break at the top of the hour. It's the SOR Paranormal Roundtable moving on tonight. Let's get into UFO history here a little bit because, William, I know this is your forte, but we're going to take it down a different road with someone else starting it off here. And, Rich, we're going to start off with you. So many times we hear the new ufologists out there that are coming into this field, and they're all about the technology. They're all about the smarts. They're all about wanting to know, their Roswell is the Tic Tac or the gimbal film or the Go Fast film. And they're all worried about the technology and what these craft are and what they're doing and what certain people are talking about, whether it's TTSA, whether it's George Knapp, whether it's the UFO expeditions or the UAP expeditions that'll be going out there. They don't use the term UFO because the antiquated researchers out there use UFO. So they're using UAP. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there is a real changing of the guard in this entire field. So my question to you is this, Rich. How important is it for this field in ufology to remember its history rather than just focusing on the now?
Oh my God, it's the most important thing of all in any, research or study. You know, you have to know where this came from. You need to know what took place back, you know, in Roswell, if you believe it. And if you go with that mind that you're going to believe all the things that you hear and say, you're just never going to find out anything. You're just going to be more confused than you were when you started. So I find it that, yes, there are credible people out there. You need to know the history. And I like everything in the 70s and before, because there wasn't this new age technology where you can fake stuff on a whim with your iPhone, you know. So I like going back to the 35 millimeter film. I like looking at old NASA footage, if there is any left that you could find. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there that if you look at it in the olden days, you know, 30, 40 years ago and beyond, the stuff today looks too perfect compared to what people actually captured. Yes, the technology is different, the cameras are different, but it's weird. Everything looked more realistic, even though it didn't look as good than things that we're going to say look real now that could be made from a phone. So it's hard, you know, that Utah sighting, that, you know, the drone footage that had everybody up in a uproar a year or so ago turned out to be a fake, and everybody thought it was real. So that's the age they're living in. They're living in where everything is fake. Back then, there was hope for us. You know, I wasn't a researcher in the 80s, but no, doing my research and going back and looking at the history, it was very important for me as a researcher to understand where we came from and how we got to where we are today. And you can see the changing of the guard. Like every decade, it's always something new, something big that re-energizes ufology. And yeah, Tic Tac was there. Roswell, the Phoenix Lights, you know, then you have the, in 2005 or 6 was the O'Hare disc that was floating over the runway. So there's a lot of different things and major sightings that seem to happen like clockwork.
Yeah, Stevensville comes to mind too.
Yeah, Stevensville, huge, right. Yep. So that goes all the way back to Gulf Breeze. That's kind of when
I absolutely.
Kind of when it started to get into the internet. Right after Gulf Breeze, the internet was came out in 95, pretty much in everybody's home. But yeah, you got to know your history before you can know the present and knowing what you're going to do in the future. See what works.
Joey, what's your response?
I agree with Rich. I don't want anyone telling me what I should believe in. By the same token, I want to go back, and I want to go back to the very beginning of the history. I want to know what started that history, you know, why, what happened exactly, the best reports I can find, and move forward through time looking at those things and then making that decision myself.
That's very important. Very, very, very important. Amber, how about you?
I think you have to. I mean, yeah, it was mentioned as a point earlier on in the show that you need to know where we came from to know where we're at now. So I think it is important. I mean, again, UFOs aren't really my forte at all. We know this. I think I'm here for the comedic relief at this point.
Ouch. Ouch.
They're not my thing. But no, I think it is important, even with the paranormal world and everything else, you know, to know where we came from, to know and understand where we're going and, you know, the steps that we need to take. And again, knowing all of the facts and seeing how people have twisted and played a long game of telephone and changed it over time.
Exactly. And, you know, your field is the same field. Just pop in the Warrens and the people going back that started all the ghost hunting and all that stuff. You've got the same thing going on. And I studied that too. I was good friends with Lou Gentili. I don't know if you remember him. He died. But yeah, anyhow. So, yeah, the paranormal field and the UFO field, if you really look at the big picture on this, folks, it's all connected, you know, all of it. So anyhow, I'll keep my mouth shut until you ask me the question.
No, very much so. We got about 2 minutes left before we go to break at the top of the hour.
2 million.
And 2 million minutes before we come back. William, what's your thoughts on the history?
Well, I guess approaching from the other side of the coin, it's important to look forward. It's important to keep our eye on the ball and avoid the window dressing of issues that take our eye off our effort to find answers to the UFO issue. Now, one important part of that is that when you examine cases that are more recent, knowing the history of the phenomenon puts modern events in proper perspective, meaning that if you're investigating a case that's 3 or 4 years old or something that happened last month, and there's characteristics to what's being seen that seem to ring a bell, you can refer back to cases from the 70s or 60s or 80s that have the same kind of characteristics. So it puts perspective in that way. And then on the other side of the coin, we can also look at the history of the UFO issue and discover what wasn't done correctly. Where did we drop the ball? Where did researchers not do enough? Was there enough science here? Was there enough speculation here, or more of a woo approach? Where did we drop the ball and learn from our mistakes? And that's one issue that I have with a lot of, not personally, but professionally, a lot of researchers are not comfortable saying I'm wrong or I don't know. And none of us knows. There are no definitive answers to this problem. There aren't. We're all in the dark still. We have a lot of ideas, but we don't have any concrete answers yet. So if we all get comfortable being unbiased, open-minded, and apply ourselves to the issue, and without, like you said, without having any preconceived notions, and we're aware of past history in our effort to go forward, that's a good thing. So
I'm going to leave it right there, Lorien. We're going to get your answer with that as well, and if our good friend William wants to continue that, we will. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go on Spaced Out Radio. It's the Roundtable. William Pullin, Lorien Fenton, Amber Bekkerud, Rich Giordano, and Joey Moons with us. We're having a great panel tonight. Join us in hour 3. It continues.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Bekkerud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thor, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR News Wire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR News Wire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hey everyone, I'm John Edwards.
And I'm Stacey Edwards. Together we're taking over Saturday nights on Spaced Out Radio, where we're going to bring our own experiences of the paranormal and talk to the best people we can find to help bring you answers to your strange tales.
We're here to entertain your need for weekend woo! So tune us in at spacedoutradio.com starting at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, where we can all get a little spooky together.
Spaced Out Saturday nights right here at spacedoutradio.com.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
We're kicking back with hour number 3 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. We especially thank everyone tuned on in to our terrestrial affiliates across North America. And on the digital side, we're on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Isotropic. Isotropic is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rocking Out to Bumblefoot, reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire, and much more. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, along with following my personal profile at Dave Scott SOR. We have the SOR Roundtable. We do it near the end of each month here on Spaced Out Radio, where we take a night to kick back, relax, and talk about the month that was in the weird and strange. Joining us tonight are from GUFON Radio on YouTube. We have Rich Giordano. From the SOR News Wire, writer Moon Joey. From Cryptid Tales on our YouTube channel, Amber Bekkerud. Lorien Fenton is here as well from the Fenton Files, as well as UFO historian William Pullin. Now, right before the break, we were talking about the importance of UFO history for those who are coming into ufology, those who are currently in ufology. And I wanted to, Lorien, talk to you about this because, you know, you are a very big proponent of still learning about the secrets and the mysteries of the cases from years ago, all the way back to Roswell. And my question is...
Oh, no, wait before Roswell, but go ahead.
but the question is, what is the level of importance of learning about UFO history in comparison to today, where we seem to be very jacked up on what the technology is?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the show, and I got to tell you guys, sitting on my bookshelf, I'm looking right over at it, is a book printed in 1880 about space brothers or angels that were visiting this guy, and it's a fascinating book. It's one of my oldest books on a person talking about their encounters with aliens. And then also, if you guys go back into the Bible, there's many, many accounts that I now believe are of an extraterrestrial kind of origin in how they happen, especially this whole story about the Virgin Mother getting impregnated, Ezekiel's wheel. I mean, there's 2 or 3 more I can't remember off the top of my head, but the reason I bring that up as compared to the history of UFOs is because they've been in our history freaking forever, since we can remember. These people, these aliens, these other beings that fly these UFOs were flying the Vimanas around in India back in 4,000, 10,000 years ago. So my point is, they've always been with us. So in studying our history right now, like you're talking about our new technology, it's just a different way of looking at it. But we've been studying ufology through religion and spirituality and all other types of modalities of conscious thought for a very long time, because they've been with us and they've shown themselves to a mass amount of people over thousands of years, and we just had no way in the technology realm to kind of measure them. And my opinion about how the differences between reading a book and studying the history of people's stories about their encounters or their sightings or whatever, and the new technology they're using, like meters and trimeters and whatever they're using, like at Skinwalker Ranch and all that. I'm telling you, folks, that new technology is not going to make an iota of a difference, except for it's going to get us closer to figuring out how much further advanced these beings are than we'll ever be. It's just all it's going to do, I can tell you guys, the summary of the Skinwalker Ranch episodes are going to be, we have no idea what technology they're using to do what they do. And because we are ants compared to the mentality of these extraterrestrial beings that are out there, whether they're angels or ascended masters or ETs or Greys or reptilians or Pelagorians or whatever. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, it's a big mystery, and the only way we're going to solve this whole thing about the history of what's going on is when they come down and they show it to us, all telepathically, all at the same time, the history of humanity. And that's it, you know. And if we're lucky, we are going to get the answer when we die. Okay? That's just my take on it.
Hopefully. Anybody want to respond to that?
Well, I want to say something, but I mean, I agree with her, but I think a lot of times we talk a lot about reverse engineering a recovered so-called extraterrestrial spacecraft. And what makes us think that we can actually do that? Where are we going to get the materials from? And just seemingly we can just go ahead and just copy it. I mean, perfect example would be, now Iran is not as technologically advanced as us, but they took the remaining F-14 Tomcats. They tried to reverse engineering them and they couldn't. So what they did was they went with a simpler airframe and used like an F-5E Tiger and just called it by a different name. So I think that the technology out there is way beyond something that we are capable of duplicating.
I'd like to respond to that because I do know the answer to that, but I can't talk about it, which is very sad. And I'm just going to throw this out as the hypothesis, okay? Let's say there's some aliens working with us that have given us a little bit of technology to work with, and I don't know where, why, or how they've done it, okay? And we're able to actually back engineer their craft via, Bob Lazar and other scientists that were working out at Area 51 back in the late 80s and early 90s. Let's say they did it. And here's I'm just going to throw a story out to you guys. I'm at a science conference several years ago. One of the top guys that was dealing with I can't say anything because you guys will figure out who it is. There was a guy sitting there, and the conference was completely over, and he had been working with another friend of mine on a DIA Department of Defense contract, DoD contract, and we were talking about UFOs. And I didn't say anything. A bunch of us were talking. And finally, at the end of the conversation, I said, yeah, I saw a big black triangle one day. And he looked at me. And this was the only way this guy could say anything without getting killed. Okay. He looked at me and he said to me, Lorien, was it ours or theirs? And I knew in that moment that I was getting confirmation that we have a secret space program, that they do know the difference. There is a difference. There's ours and theirs, and that we're out in space right now. Okay. So somehow we have a space fleet out there. Okay. And I've seen them, because when I answered his question, I said it was definitely ours, because I did not get any telepathic communication or nothing from the ship. It just appeared. That was it. I got nothing. I got none of the feelings. I didn't get a download. I didn't get anything I would get from a extraterrestrial vehicle. And he goes, that's it. And that's all he said to me. That's all he had to say. So I got confirmation that we have a secret space program. So I'm just leaving that to you guys. I don't know how we back engineered it. I don't know if we did it, but our military is hiding so much from us that you guys got to believe me on this. I didn't believe it either. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to know, but I literally have been getting hints and bits and pieces from people that actually know the truth. So I know it's real.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right, let's move on here, because we got a lot more to get through on tonight's panel with the SOR Roundtable that we continue with here. And just for the sake of Amber here, because we love Amber around here, Amber, we're going to start with you on this one. And guess what? We're not going to choose a UFO story just for you. Just for you. Because we love you. Yeah, well, we do care. We do care around here every now and again. And anyways, this is regards to hauntings. All right. Just a couple nights ago, we had Joni Mahan and Deanna Simpson on and talking about this great book that they've put together about Deanna's horrifying haunting experience in her home, in her dream home that her and her husband bought a number of years ago. They've since moved out of the house. And, it was a very traumatizing type event when they were going through this, caused a lot of emotional problems for the family. These beings were attacking their children. They were attacking everybody mercilessly, inside the home. And my question to you is, one of the things that we always hear about hauntings is, I just couldn't get up and leave. I wanted to leave. I couldn't. Do you believe, Amber, that a lot of these spirits that are haunting these houses are really having the ability to keep people in their homes rather than letting them get away and sell it?
I'm going to get a little serious here for a minute. Yes, I do. And simply for the fact that I think if you bring it down into more of a human level, it would be the same as asking like a man or a woman why they didn't leave an abusive relationship before they did. You knew it was happening for so long. Why didn't you just leave? And I think it's when you're in and dealing with a haunting, I know that's like a really deep way to put that in there, but it's the same. It's the same. When a haunting is so bad that it is hurting your family, your children, it's affecting your mental health. It's really taking its toll on your ability to live your life. It is the same thing. It is the same idea and the same kind of situation where you are used to it. You are short-sighted in the fact that you can't see what you where you want to go and you know that you want to leave and you know where you want to get out, but taking the steps to get there seems nearly impossible because every time you take one step forward, that spirit or that thing is hauling you back 7 steps. So depending on the situation, it can be something that can really take over your emotions, take over the ability to make the correct decision. I've seen multiple cases where, people who have never, sure, they've had sad days or what have you, but they get into a house that they thought that was their dream home and everything else. And then on a dime, they switch and they become the most abusive person in the world. Since moving in that house, you take them out of the house, they're out for a little while and they go back to exactly how they were beforehand. Now, not saying necessarily that that's always spirits or it's always a ghost or whatever that's causing those things. Maybe there's something else in the house or something that was affecting the chemical structure of their brain or anything like that. But it happens so often and time again that I think it is very possible that, things can have a hold on you. And when you buy that dream house, when you get that house that you absolutely wanted, and then there's something wrong with it, you don't want to admit that to yourself. At least I wouldn't. It's my dream home. Why would I want to get rid of that finally? When I'd been searching for it for so long because this thing is going wrong. But I think it's hard for people to separate themselves when they get to that point of it's actually physically affecting my family, myself, people who come over, people who visit. My friends won't come over anymore because the ghosts are too much. They're getting hurt. They're getting scratched and kicked and pulled and thrown and, having nightmares. It's a tough cycle to be stuck in and break yourself out of for sure.
Let alone the banks really don't follow the idea that your house is haunted. Yeah, we still need that mortgage payment. If you don't mind, that would be great too. Because getting out of a mortgage even early is extremely expensive. Joey, let's get your opinion on that.
Well, I have a specific belief on that, and is that the unseen, they'll do whatever they can because they know that you cannot see them. However, if they cross from their world into ours, they are breaking the law that has been set in place. And now, once they break that law, they are bound by ours. And if you have a faith belief that is strong in the way of dealing with it, you have the upper hand to get rid of them.
What is that law? I've never heard of that.
The law, it's a cosmic law, is that there's yin and yang in the universe. There's good and bad. There's the opposite for everything. But that they do not have dominion in our world, in our physical world. They exist in theirs. We exist in ours. And to cross over is basically forbidden. But just like any criminal can commit a crime, they can break that law, but now they have to pay for it.
And how do they
I
pay
can tell
for
you a
it,
story. Well, they're going to be taken care of it by being sent somewhere that they don't want to go. Perhaps they're going to be sent to where they didn't go in the first place. A lot of people talk about crossing over. They talk about going to the light. But you've heard a lot of times stories about people that just hang around because they have like unfinished business, whether it's a good business or bad business. But the hanging around is not good for anyone. That energy is no longer a living energy in our physical realm. So, and even they cannot stay here forever because they'll enter what's called a state of entropy, where they will slowly diminish and fade away to non-existence. So they have to move on, but they just don't want to. Now, you've heard of exorcisms. There's all different religions have ways of getting rid of these negative things. And it's all about the strength of the belief in that religion that you practice that will help you get rid of them.
William, your thoughts?
Yeah, the testimony that in all the cases of apparitions, hauntings, things of that nature, seems to suggest, from a scientific standpoint, that at least a certain percentage of people that can't seem to move, they can't seem to react in a physical way, maybe as a direct result of something happening, something being cast onto them, some influence being put on them, something beyond what they're doing to themselves. Because there are instances where individuals, and it doesn't have to be like a ghost sighting, but people can be so scared out of their wits by something anomalous being seen with their own eyes, they freeze, so they can't move. They're frozen. Does that explain some of them? I think possibly some. But again, the testimony suggests that people have this feeling that they're being influenced by what they're experiencing, meaning that the apparition has a direct, has some sort of an ability to influence they're unable to move physically as a direct result of the apparition. So I'm comfortable saying that at least a percentage of those cases may be explained like that. So as to what's actually going on with those individuals, I don't know. I mean, it's not my field of study. It's fascinating, though, to ponder the possibilities that an apparition from another realm of existence is having an effect on somebody in our universe. That's an interesting question to ponder. You know, how things can influence each other across boundaries like that. That's fascinating to me.
Very nice. Very nice. We got about 2.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Rich Giordano, your thoughts?
Well, I need a lifeline, Dave, so I'd like to ask for asking me what is the question? I forgot.
Just in regards to serious hauntings in people's homes, okay? Like a lot of them, they want to run away. They can't, whether it's due to mortgage, whether it's due to the fact that they feel the spirit has something locked down on them that they can't just get up and move or get out of the house, you know, and they feel trapped.
And
how do you believe that spirits can actually trap a person in their own home?
Well, not intentionally. I think, well, we don't know because we never know what they're thinking. So I would have to say, yeah, people who buy a home, get a 30-year mortgage, how are they supposed to move? You can't. You can't break the contract that quick unless you want to pay the huge penalty, which most people don't have that kind of money. So they get stuck in their environment and they have to deal with this phenomena, whatever's going on. And you feel like you can't leave because you can't leave. Where are you going to go? Now, there's a lot of people who grew up in these homes. And, they were either the home's real old, already had history, and then their family moved in, and they've been there for 40, 50 years. You don't want to give up the home either. So I could see it, wanting to stay there and not lose your home because of something that you really don't know if it's true, your imagination, you keep questioning it, but it keeps happening to you. It's a very tough situation for these families that can't move. I feel bad for them.
Me too. Lorien, 45 seconds. You're up.
45 seconds. Okay. My theory on this is...
Time's up.
Okay, I'm done. No, my theory is if you're stuck in a house like that, you've got to learn how to deal with living with them.
Yeah.
And maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. It's all individual situations, I think. Not my expertise.
Oh, come on. Everybody knows that little Lorien Fenton is very intuitive. Very intuitive.
Well, I've seen my share of ghosts, trust me. I've been down that path. I grew up being a psychic, so, I've been there and done that. But I actually used to clear houses back in the day. If you want to talk about it over the break quickly, I will. I'll tell you guys a story about people having to learn to live with it. But, yeah. It's an individualized problem, is what I'm saying.
All right. And on that note, when we come back from the break here and go into our final half hour, we're going to start off about the experience because April has 3 big anniversaries for me personally in my own experiences. We're going to get into the experience next with our great panel of Rich Giordano, William Pullin, Lorien Fenton, Moon Joey, and Amber Bekkerud. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio after this.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from vans to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR News Wire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR News Wire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Need that weekend's supernatural fix? Look no further than Spaced Out Saturday right here at spacedoutradio.com. I'm Stacey Edwards.
And I'm John Edwards. Each Saturday night, Stacey and I are going to bring you the best in paranormal, cryptids, UFOs, you name it, and we're going there.
It's all about the experience and to share the knowledge with all of you.
So tune us in every Saturday night on Spaced Out Saturdays, starting at 9:06 p.m. Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Bekkerud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. Want to remind you that if you've missed most of tonight's show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and checking out Captain Shirk's SOR News Wire, which is updated daily. Remember, we are also on Twitter, at Spaced Out Radio for the show. My personal handle, at Dave Scott SOR. I'd love for you to give us a follow. For the final time tonight, I introduce our panel to the SOR Roundtable, which we do near the end of each month here on Spaced Out Radio, where we get into some weird, strange stories from the month that was, which is now April. Now, we are joined by Lorien Fenton from the Fenton Perspective, Moon Joey from the SOR News Wire, who writes for our website, Little Richie G, GUFON Radio, UFO historian William Pullin and his fantastic pair of pleated beige khaki slacks, and, of course, Amber Bekkerud, the tattooed temptress of Cryptid Tales on our YouTube channel. Everyone, welcome on back to the show. Very much appreciate all of you coming on in. And I want to get into the experience here for a second because, you know, for a lot of us out there who have had experiences that we cannot explain, we remember them as clear as day. I remember certain experiences I had personally as vivid as my children being born. And it is that affected me that much. In April, for some reason, a lot of stuff has happened to me. I have 3 dates that I had anniversaries to. April 10th was the day I had the UFO landing, which was communicating with me from about 150 yards away after calling me outside at a friend's house. April 15th was the anniversary of Samantha Mowat and I, 6 years ago, walking into the forest and meeting up with that extraterrestrial right in the middle of the day. And then on the 20th, this past Monday, it was the 5th anniversary of Carl, our resident alien, showing up at my window while I was broadcasting a show talking to Harvey Kraft about Buddha. So it's been a big month for me experience-wise, and a month that I, kind of look forward to every year because I get to talk about it again and again and again and again. But this gets to the experience that everybody has. How profound, William, should we take the experiences of people in this field? Because recently we are so fixated on the scientific aspect of everything. Have we forgotten that the experiencer is the one who has to deal with this on a daily basis?
Oh, yeah, that's the only part of the equation. That's this effort to push science has overlooked the experiencer. It's caused this rift between the two camps. That won't get us anywhere. A huge part of the data that we have on the UFO topic comes from testimony. The vast majority of the evidence we have, we can call it evidence, is testimony. We have, compared to that, we have very little physical evidence. So we need to, as researchers, whether you're a scientific researcher or not, it's vitally important to, one, interview witnesses in an unbiased way, two, ask them, and to, from my point of view, almost demand of them to chronicle their events quickly and meticulously, and three, not belittle their efforts. People are seeing things that are anomalous. They're intelligent, they're grounded, they're common sense, they're not wanting to be made fun of, not in the least. Now, is that saying all their sightings are extraterrestrial in nature? No, but it's a personal thing. They should be treated with respect and go from there. And because of this rift between the scientific aspect of UFO investigations and experiencers, that doesn't always happen, and that's unfortunate.
Joey, the experience. You've had some strange encounters in your life. When you look back, how important have those encounters been for you and really molded the way you are as a researcher and as a writer of this phenomena?
Well, I kind of agree with what Bill just said. I think that anyone who has an experience, first of all, I don't agree with keeping it to yourself, because the experience is probably the best evidence, if you want to call it that we have. I mean, you're not going to find much physical DNA evidence or anything like that. So it has to be cataloged. It has to be that experience has to be put in some kind of a database. So as more people relate their experiences, maybe there's a pattern that we can come up with. We can see why, where, what time of day, what time of year, day, night, all these things that can start to build a pattern that perhaps can move us towards solving and resolving in our own minds and hearts what that experience did to us.
Yes.
And I agree with you on that. I mean, for many people, Joey, it's very traumatic. You know, whether that's a positive trauma or a negative trauma, it's really something that is traumatic to each and every person who joins in on the conversation to share their own experience. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't feel. I feel like you have to get it out. You have to talk about it, no matter who you're talking to, about it, whether it be a professional help or just someone that you trust, a friend, a loved one, but don't keep it inside. It's not going to help you move forward.
All right, Amber, your thoughts?
I think it's played an extremely big part of me and how I came to be as I am in the paranormal world. I was lucky enough to have parents who, when I was a kid experiencing things in terms of ghosts and unexplainable things that I've seen, my parents would talk to me about it when I bring it up to them and actually talk me through it instead of just dismissing it and saying, oh, it's just, an overactive imagination, or it's just, you're just seeing things, it's fine. So I was lucky in that sense that my parents really talked to me and helped me explain it. Plus my dad had an interest in it anyway, and my mom has a bit of a background in it as well. So I think that makes all the difference in the world is, like Joey just said, having somebody to talk to. Whether it's friends or family or somebody who's more experienced than you or anything like that, to share your experiences and get more knowledge about them, and just try to understand them better. And I think the more that we can do that, the more well-rounded we're going to be as researchers in the end, whether it's UFOs or paranormal or extraterrestrials or cryptids. The more that we can share and gain information and knowledge and share each other's experiences and everything else, the better off we'll be in the end of the day.
Little Richie G.
When was your
Yeah,
and it's impacted me every time I've had an experience, weird stuff. But I wanted to ask you a question. You said April 10th was the first time you saw something, right?
No, April 10th was when the UFO landed and called me outside at my friend's house.
But think about it. You had April 10th, April 15th, and then April 20th. 5 days? Were they all the same year? Same month?
No, 10th and 15th were in 2014, and the Carl at the window was April 20th, 2015.
Well, for myself, April 15th, and April 16th are red letter dates for me, because that was the first night I got my dog on the April 15th, and I went outside to walk him and saw a couple of lights moving like I've never seen before. And then the next night I went out there at the same exact time with him, looked up, and just there they were. Same thing. Didn't happen a third night, though, but interesting. Yep, and that's what propelled me into this field. Seeing that. That's how thought-provoking it was, and it didn't make sense, and it couldn't have been satellites. Very strange. Yeah, but if I didn't have that experience, no, I wouldn't even be here. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh no! We need little Richie G here. We need little Richie G and his stories and his calling out of people in their own chats, and it's a beautiful thing. I think you're like a sheriff for this community, man. You're like a sheriff.
Yeah, I am. I've dubbed myself or called myself the UFO police because nobody else is really doing it as loudly as me.
Well, Dave knows I do it. I just do it with a big hammer in the background, right, Dave?
Yeah, you and Richie would get along. You guys would be one hell of a wrestling tag team on the UFO field. That's for sure. Rich, yeah. I swear to God, if you could get Lorien to come off the top rope with a clothesline on some of these UFO people, it would be one hell of a match.
It would be. She would destroy him. I could tell.
Well, I'm doing a good job, but I don't talk about it. See, that's how stealthy I am.
That we need that. And
that's my biggest pet peeve about the whole damn group of people. Is that you've got all these people out there that are doing this for a living. Once it becomes a living, you cannot do this anymore. It should be taken away from you. Just like our politicians, once you've been in there for 4 years, you got to go. Because after that, you're serving your own interest and not mine. And that's what happens in the UFO community. People get a big head and they go, oh, everybody's listening to me. And then, oh, I'm so cool. I'm this, I'm that. And then they start lying on stage. And I can't take it anymore. So anyhow, but what was the question, Dave?
Just in regard to the experiences, how they have forged your way and they help forge the ways of gaining and garnering information from the experience.
Okay. Well, now I think every individual person who has an experience, whether it be with Bigfoot or it goes all the way to seeing a Thunderbird or they're being taken by aliens every night or whatever, I have been told by my aliens, or angels as I call them, that these are private personal experiences for your consciousness and spiritual growth. Okay. Having said that, they also told me several years ago that people need to start sharing this and they need to do it just, once or twice to get it off their chest so that they know that they're not crazy, because people need validation from each other. And believe it or not, that's why I started my radio show, is because I decided, well, the aliens basically said, you're going to do radio. And the reason you're doing it is so that people that no one knows can get on there anonymously if they have to and tell you their story about their abduction. And I thought, well, that's cool. So I eventually, that's what I did. And I pride myself on bringing on people that nobody else will, that have never been on radio before, and telling you their truth as they know it. Now, in having said that, I can also guarantee you that 99.99% of those people that have been on my radio show said to me after they were done with the show, I am so happy I did that. I never want to do it again. And they feel great now, and they feel like they're part of the community. They got to tell their story. They feel good, but there's always the bad apples in the group that go, oh, well, this was so cool. I'm so all that, right? That the next thing you know, they're working their way up the ladder and trying to get fame and fortune. And I literally, and I can tell you guys this, I've said this a million times on my show. I was there when Corey Good started out back in 2013. I got a phone call from this guy, and he said to me within that phone call that lasted for about 40 minutes, me interviewing him to be at my Super Soldier and Mind Control conference as a speaker. He said to me, how do I make money at this? And I want to be famous. Anybody who says that to me, folks, I hang up on him in 30 seconds. I say, thank you very much. You've been wonderful. I really appreciate your time. And I hang up. Because the reality is, if that's what they're into it for, then they're never going to give you the truth as they know it. And that goes back to what Joey and I were just talking about getting these people out of the community, because their intent is not to help humanity. Their intent is to help themselves. And I'm done with that. And as Dave knows, I voice my opinion about it honestly and often. So there you go.
Absolutely. And why not? Why not? Just kick him in the shins. That's what we need to do. Just kick him in the shins, Lorien.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry to be so just pounding it on here like a female Alex Jones. But hey, I've had to take the brunt of these people. I mean, I've had them literally get on my stage and lie, and have people come to me and say, "Why did you put that liar on your stage?" And I go, "I didn't know." And they go, "Well, here's what he did to me." And then I hear about it afterwards. So I'm very, very cautious now about who I deal with and what they're up to.
Well,
So there you go.
William, Lorien kind of brings up a good point here in regards to the fact that the experience is important. However, if you're automatically trying to amplify it and make it into a financial endeavor, how does that not affect the community negatively when people out there are trying to just find out what is going on with them? They're not looking for money. They're not looking for fame or fortune for the majority of people out there, but there are the charlatans out there that you've been very vocal about who are really trying to take advantage.
It's a horrible situation. You have researchers you never hear about working behind the scenes quietly to gather information, to gather testimony, to gather data, not for financial gains, not to get invitations to a conference or write a book. They're working for the sole purpose of solving this problem, the UFO issue. Unfortunately, because there are charlatans, there are hoaxers, there are fraudsters in the UFO community, the level of professionalism, the level of integrity is very low. So no wonder a lot of experiencers don't want to come forward, because they're dealing with unprofessional people. In my interactions here in South Texas, when I discuss this with an experiencer or I interview them and I ask them about their testimony, and I simply say, "What did you experience?" and ask them another question, because I don't want to lead them. And they describe the entire event to me, and I chronicle everything, or they provide me documentation. They look at me like I'm from another planet. They're used to being belittled. They're used to humorous content. They're used to a joke being made. They're used to it being a lighthearted comment. This stuff needs to be taken seriously. This is a very serious issue. And if the level of...
I got to say something right now. I'm sorry to interrupt you. And then there's the people, and I'm not going to name their names, but they're pretty big in the UFO field right now, who will call those people, and they'll hear about them through the grapevine, and they'll call them and say, "Oh, I really want to hear your story." And they take it all in, and then the next thing you know, I'm 6 months later at a conference, and I hear them tell that person's whole story. And the person comes up to me and says, "Hey, they just told my story." They don't give me credit. They say, "Oh, I was talking to a person the other day, and this is what they said, and here's my take on it." And they never even give the person credit for it, or say their name, or just thank them. I mean, if all these people would be fine with it if they just thank them, but they don't. They just steal it outright, and they don't give a rat's ass. It makes me infuriated.
Oh, she's mad tonight. She's mad. She's going.
I haven't started pounding the table yet, so you guys will hear that when that all starts.
Well, the good news is we only have about a minute and a half left to go before we get to start winding things up here. And anybody else want to comment on that before we start to see our way out of here? Well, don't all jump up at once, everyone. Come on, Richie. I know you got a comment.
About what?
I don't know. Whatever we've been talking about tonight.
What are we doing? Is this still on? We're still on? Oh, I'm joking. I'm trying to buy us time here. Sorry, William. I know it's frustrating.
That's okay. You know what, Rich, while we're here, why don't you just take about 15, 10 seconds to tell everybody about GUFON Radio, where they can find it.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Well, it's on YouTube. It's under GUFON Radio Stream. It was on every night during this 19 thing, but we're pretty much just on YouTube. You can see it, hear it, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, pretty much every night. We're going for a while, and that's that.
It's a great show. Subscribe to it. You'll really enjoy it. William, where can people find your work?
You can find me on Facebook on my UFO group entitled UFO Real, a historical review. which is an objective examination of the UFO topic. You can find my personal blog also on Facebook, entitled William Pullin UFO Historian, where I vent my personal feelings about the issues with the community.
Awesome. Lorien, 10 seconds. Your show.
The Fenton Files on KCOR Radio.com and the Fenton Perspective on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, right where we're here being listening to tonight.
Perfect. And Joey, where can people find your writings?
On Spaced Out Radio as a commentator. I have an incredible article coming out from an interview with a indigenous medicine man who'll be based on Stumpy story.
Perfect. And Amber, when do we get the next Cryptid Tales, my beautiful friend?
Hopefully soon, but I've got a whole bunch of things going on in the world with everything on YouTube. So, yeah, I have my YouTube channel and Cryptid Tales here at Spaced Out Radio, and I'm on the path to 1,000 subscribers by the end of May. That's my goal.
Beautiful. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody out there for tuning on in this week. Because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Have a great week, buddy. You guys have been absolutely awesome. You guys make it so much fun to broadcast in front of each and every night, and that's why we are here. All for you, all time, on Spaced Out Radio. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Good night.